Sweden playing again. Sweden won against Team UK, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Towers of Doom as our first map. The Nation Cup continues. And we now have, of course, another pretty important battle on our hand, especially for the blue team here. So just to sum things up a little bit, we currently have 28 teams participating in the Nations Cup, representing 17 different countries. And $10,000 of prize money are on the line. We have 7 groups with 4 teams each. The first place out of each group advances to the next round of the event immediately. And the second place still has a chance in the last chance qualifier to also advance. And this is kind of what Sweden is currently fighting for. Now, they lost to Ukraine in their group match. It was a pretty close one when you look at the maps themselves. The score, maybe not so much so. But right now, for Sweden, this is an important one. They have obviously a lot of former HTC players on their lineup. We have Wubby here today, Galne Gunnar subbing in, Breeze is on the lineup, and we have also Quacknix on the lineup. So they have an absolutely spectacular player base for this. But a lot of those guys, even with all of the experience that they have, with all of the competitions that they've participated in their life, don't have quite as much play experience over the last couple of years as others that are still very active in the scene. So against Ukraine, that meant that in the late game, they started to struggle and lost against the Ukrainian team. And unless there's an insane upset happening in the last match of Ukraine, their team will advance as first seed of the group. Now, we're not there yet. Crazy stuff has happened before, could happen again. But theoretically, or realistically, we now have Sweden play for second place, which means that they have to take the UK down here. If they do that, then they are at least guaranteed to have second place. They already won their match against Czechia. But this is an important match for them, because if they would lose here, then they're already out of the tournament. If they win here, they might still be aiming for the #1 spot. It's not in their hands anymore, but at a minimum, they would have that #2 position, which would allow them to go into the last chance qualifier. So there's a lot on the line for them. For Team UK, obviously, they also would love to just push ahead a bit. We have now Sylvanas locked in very, very quickly here in Towers of Doom. UK team with a good ban as well. So they banned out Medivh and they got rid of the Vikings, especially here in Towers. That makes, of course, perfect sense for them. And this is the second seed of UK. So we allowed multiple teams from every single country to sign up for the tournament, which means that some of them came in, had 2 teams that they signed up, some signed up 3. In this case, Sweden, they have 3 teams, but the team that you now have in front of you is the one that is the highest seed. So they are, or at least on paper, they are the strongest. Now, if that in reality is also going to be reflected or not, that's a very different story. Upsets have happened in the past, but right now, Sweden is doing what they can to at least get into the last chance qualifier, whereas for the UK, this is our second seed over here, and they're, of course, going to try and throw a bit of a wrench into the plans of their opponents, and yeah, we'll see. Also, the lineup for the blue team is actually pretty big. So as I already said before, they have a couple of substitute players that they can swap in and swap out. Not everybody is always available, so they had Quacknix already play. Breeze will most likely also play in the future, depending on how far they go in the tournament. But they're swapping players in and out depending on availability. In this case, for example, I know that we specifically started the day with their match because they had very limited player availability in general and were specifically asking to play the first match of the day, because they were under a couple of time constraints, so that was kind of important. But as we're then heading into the later stages of the event, obviously there's a little bit more planned. But we got Blaze and Stukov on the side of the UK boys here, so we'll see how they're going to do today here. Sergeant Hammer also banned out. I mean, essentially they're just looking at picks and they're thinking, what is the most annoying thing against us? Quick ban on Stitches, who's of course also someone with quite a bit of playtime on Towers of Doom, as we're going into the first game of the best of 3 series. And I think at this point I should also talk quickly about that we have in the last chance qualifier and in the next phase of the tournament mainly best of 5 matches happening. So we're now getting slowly into the next phase of the tournament. We have only 1 or 2 play days left before we're done with the group stage. And yeah, right now we get Alarak, we get Tigers. So it's a full StarCraft lineup that they're running here. At this point, I really want them with a proper main tank as well, because they have an opportunity here. I mean, come on, guys. We can go full on theme on this match today. Blaze, Stukov, Tigers, and Alarak. Yeah. Give me that double support. Go for Morales if you don't believe in the frontline tank. But whatever it may be, there is a chance that we're going to get that. Maiev, oh, Maiev, Garrosh for Team Sweden, and then we get D.Va behind it. Wubby on D.Va is also something that I did not have on my bingo card today. And there's ETC. Kinda ruining the dream, honestly. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but well, stage is set. Towers of Doom is our first map. So, ladies and gentlemen, Team Sweden against Team UK, map number 1. The blue team in game number 1 of the series over on the left side of the map with Galnegulnar in the support role, clocking in with Malfurion. We got Sven on Garrosh, Wubby on D.Va, Captain Rex is playing Sylvanas for the team, and then we got Azzy on Maiev. A lot of displacement for them here, and with Garrosh and D.Va being played, we could see some thrown bombs. As the UK on the right side in red is starting things off with Ziggy on Tychus. Straight up into press the advantage, so going for an auto attack build. Tofu Freak on Blaze, we got JD on Stukov, Punch McFist with Alarak, and then Alexa, who kind of ruined the IP dream, so not a full StarCraft lineup for the red team as he went into ATC. On level 1, we're now getting the overwhelming affliction for Sylvanas, and well, it's party time. Question, of course, will still remain. What exactly is, for example, Tychus going to do on his level 4? Lots of options here for him. But the fight in the middle of the map is already focusing things down. JD in trouble. And there's the kill. Stukov gets eliminated quickly. They were trying to also get a hit on Blaze, but he quickly jumped out. And oh, counter kill opportunity. They go for Sven and they drop Garrosh. The UK trading 1-for-1 after losing their support in the first fight. So, yeah, job well done here. And that was pretty sweet. That they at least got a counter kill. That's already worth quite a lot for them. Top side is where we still have D.Va now in play. Wubby is going to have, as usual, a pretty big impact on the side lane. So time will tell how successful he's going to be there. Azzy just double checking on the camp, but ETC was anchoring the position. They couldn't really threaten Maiev, but they were still able to do some work here. Now all the way top side, Tofu Freak is taking over, gets all the experience for them. The blue team also claiming their own pumpkins as we're slowly starting to get to the point where we now focus on the bot lane. The side laners will start the rotation between the middle and the top to lock all of the experience in. But over here, fight starting out. Lexa in trouble for a moment, but ETC easily able to jump out of this one. So, good for them. We'll see how much Sweden can do. My personal opinion on this matter is still the same. If they are making it into the next round, let's say for example they are now locking in, it doesn't really, oh, ETC down, nice, and they get Stukov again, double kill for them, great. My personal theory was always that if they make it into the next phase of the tournament, as they play more games, they will very likely become stronger and stronger and stronger. Because what they are currently missing is practice. They definitely have the game knowledge, they have the mechanics, they proved that in the professional scene in the past, at least a lot of the players that they have on their lineup. So if they are able to just get more practice time in, then there is a very good chance that they are increasingly getting stronger. And that's something that I would absolutely love to see. So if they make it into the last chance qualifier or directly into phase 2, it would be interesting to see how well they're going to do in this tournament, since of course all of this will last for several more weeks. We're going to be here for quite some time. With 28 teams signed up, this is pretty big. Also, a quick reminder that anybody could sign up. So the UK team here, more on an amateur level, trying to represent their country and also have some fun. Blaze going down. Problem, of course, is that they are now going up against a very experienced tournament team. And this is going to be very, very tricky. This is generally when you have open signups, obviously, a thing. We got very good feedback also from players that are on weaker teams and said that they really enjoyed it. But we have a couple of names at least. If you watched a lot of the Heroes Lounge coverage that I threw out over the last couple of years, then you should at least recognize someone like Ziggy here. Punch McFist also playing in some of the Heroes Lounge games. But of course now that we have Azzy coming in with a tether, the blue team is setting up for another potential kill. JD trying to get out and Stukov gets killed again. Positioning, super important with him, doesn't have anything that would allow him to quickly change directions to move away out of a fight. So if you are positioned badly or your opponent catches you, you are in trouble. And that's now kill number 7 with another one about to come in. Ziggy just says, I don't care if I die, I just want the kill. And he got it. Takes Maiev down, so that's the second one for Team UK. But we already have Team Sweden pushing. They only got 1 out of the first 3 altars, by the way, so 2 went over to... Oh, sorry, my bad. They took 2. Sorry. I looked at the wrong number there for a moment. I was like, how did that happen? And yes, okay. Way more realistic what we see there. 2 of the altars went to the blue team, and 1 got picked up by their opponents, who now lost their first bell tower. So 4 minutes into the game, you can already see that the gap in experience is very quickly being widened. And for Sweden, it is important to make a bit of a statement here as well. As I already said before, to my knowledge, they are under some time constraints too. So it will be in their interest to make this a very, very clean game, if they can. UK is going to attempt to throw anything they have against them, but it's really difficult when you're going up against a team that is clearly on another level. 21 stacks for Tychus now as he went in the rhythm on level 4. We got the combat tactician in here as well. Wubby still controlling the sides. One pumpkin actually makes it through and attacks the core. So good for them. Second one makes it in as well. And now they're going for ETC. And Lexa goes down with the tether connecting on Stukov. And that's another double kill as Maiev comes in and drops the 2 of them. So nicely done. Disc attempt against Ziggy now that they have level 10. 3 level advantage here 5 minutes into the game. And just clearly showing the difference between the teams. Margin of error when you're playing in tournament level is much, much smaller than anything that you can experience in the typical solo queue, or even if you're queuing with 5-man. Storm League just doesn't compare to what happens in real tournaments. It's a completely different game. And something that for a lot of people is a bit difficult to realize at times. Up to the point where you're getting some, let's say, random grandmasters thrown together, or high-level master players, and throw them into a tournament, and all of a sudden realize that they get absolutely murdered by teams that have been playing together for a long time. Heroes Lounge gives you a couple of advantages with this. We have a big amateur scene, obviously, in Europe that a lot of people take advantage of, and a lot of those guys have signed up here as well to try and get themselves some more tournament experience. But currently, Team Sweden, they're really at it. Wubby at the top lane, obviously, someone that played on the highest level, for themselves world champions there. Now we got Pumpkins at the bottom of the map once again, trying to push through this. They are about to be stopped by the UK, but there is pressure galore on every single lane right now. And for the red team, they can't do a whole lot since they're so far behind in experience that they don't even have their level 10 abilities yet. So there's nothing that you can really work with. At the top, they're trying to swarm Blaze, and they're gonna get that kill. Quick taunt, he's out, Pumpkins are coming in, so they are attempting to push for the next bell tower and try to see if they can maybe damage it at least a little bit. Sylvanas has been defending at the bottom of the map for as long as possible, but eventually is going to lose the structure here. So it will be retaken by the UK, but it could just end up in being a trade. With all of the minions now coming in and the Inspire buff triggered, there's a realistic chance for Team Sweden to get the bell tower at the top in exchange, and that would bring us again to 5 versus 3 bell towers on the map. Top side this time with the double altar now activating at the bottom of the map, and finally level 10 abilities at least for the red team. Now, of course, there's still a talent advantage for their opponents. Sylvanas is also sitting at nearly 200 stacks, so she has a ton. It's a bit of a party push attempt that they're trying here. Did not work out yet. Instead, we have an instant attack against Stukov. He's already gone. Explosion dodged by the bunker. Tofu Freak with some great timing. But now it's Alarak who's in trouble. They're coming through with another tether. And Punch McFist is dead. They are cheesing the altar though. Trying. Ziggy. Sneaky. Nearly got it. But Malfurion comes in with the interrupt. They're down to 25 points on their core now. And with all of those kills now coming together, we are having Team Sweden push for gold. They lose Sylvanas, but they're currently going through Team UK like hot butter through cheese. Absolutely wrecking them. So, channel is currently happening. They are actually delaying it a little bit. They might try and go for another bell tower here. So, we'll see. They have Blaze still around, who is of course trying to interrupt a bit, but gets also killed. And that's now kill number 17 against 3. Maiev alone at the bottom of the map. Wubby has moved back into the mid lane to try and take that bell tower over. They are just farming kills right now, turning this into a bit of a farming simulator at this point. And with Wubby waiting for the next minion wave, and now Sylvanas coming in too, they might actually be able to make this a 6-2 situation, which could give them another 6 shots fired. One ult has channeled. That puts the red team down to 20 points. but there's going to be more right here. Channel attempt, and another kill. Malfurion is gone. The UK is fighting. They're trying. They come in with a nice ult from ETC in the mosh pit. Alarak was trying to get a kill behind that, but they lose Stukov again. Alarak is dead, but so is Maiev. The UK coming in with 5 kills in total. Fighting tooth and nail here to try and establish a position in the game and claw their way back to parity, but right now they're just not there yet. This one, by the way, nearly dead, but hasn't been destroyed. Now Sven coming in, trying to interrupt and buy some time for Malfurion to come back, who went Twilight Dream here. It takes a bit of a sustain away, but of course allows them more kill opportunities. ETC in trouble. Lexa trying to get out. Captain Rex gets saved. In comes Wubby with D.Va. They take Tychus down. The pew 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 from D.Va as they're interrupting Blaze on the jet propulsion. Wind up, and that's another dead hero on the red team side. The channel happening as we speak. This time the oh, ha ha ha. Punch McFist with a big punch, taking Sylvanas out. They're taking Malfurion out. 21 kills to 8. But all of a sudden we're getting some damage in from Team UK as they're picking up kill after kill. They're closing the gap a bit, but it's still 2 level of an advantage for Team Sweden. And they're locking in level 16 talents, which gives them another big lead. Alarak again becoming the target, and he's gone as ETC hopes to take down D.Va. Bit low though, D.Va dead, Wubby dies, so does ETC. They go for Tychus, and it's just an endless brawl right now. They're looking for kills, both of the teams. Ziggy is down. They try to go for Maiev. Mistakes were made. There's the B-step. Sven is like, hey, I'm out of here, buddy. You're on your own. And that's Maiev gone. 24 kills to 10 as we're hitting the 11-minute mark. What a game. Some of the talents not even picked yet. Oh, Maiev and D.Va, of course, both dead, so they haven't even chosen. The conversion in the middle hasn't happened yet, but it should happen soon. And we have 36 points to 15 on the core. So yeah, things are getting a bit crazy over here. Sweden is clearly in the lead and has taken big advantages, but Team UK is trying to come back. The funny thing is, honestly, that when you look at the hero experience here, Team UK is ahead of Sweden. It's just the underdog bonus and underdog experience that kicks in, and also the level of heroes that they killed. Early game obviously not giving you as much XP as when you're taking a much higher level late game hero out. So yeah, UK is ahead on that account. Way behind in minion experience on the other hand. I mean, damn, that is such a huge difference here. And accounts for the majority of the extra XP that we're getting for Sweden. So they're big on this one. Structural experience too. Bell Tower in the middle has been converted. It's 6 versus 2 now. Blaze is trying to retake the top. The fight down at the bottom of the map could be really tricky for the UK though. They might lose the Bell Tower as they are now losing 3 of their heroes at the same time. That's the 4th one gone, and all of a sudden the Bell Tower is taken, and this is where the barrage starts. The barrage is up. Blaze was trying to maybe take at the top, is still trying to burn this down, and they're hoping to stop him. They're coming in. They want to end the game here. D.Va is channeling. That's going to be 7 shots fired, and the core is dropping low. With Blaze having to retreat and being killed, it's a 5-man team wipe, and it's going to mark the end of the game. The barrage is going to end it right here. Blue team moving over to the boss to make sure that they're going to win this 100%. But a fantastic effort here by Team Sweden as they take the lead in the best of 3 series in a very important match for them in this group. So they take the victory and therefore the lead as Towers of Doom finishes with a loss for Team UK, 36 points to 0. I hope all of you guys are enjoying the Nations Cup. We have an epic event on hand right now, and it's tons of fun. But please keep in mind that events like the Nations Cup, like Meta Madness, the Bounty Cup, and many other tournaments that we've been running on the channel here to support Heroes Esports are only possible through either private supporters or campaigns that we have with partners on the channel. And right now, we have a campaign going on where you can support the channel for free and with a minimum of investor time. All that you gotta do is download Opera GX, which is a browser that has an integrated VPN, has tons of themes and other features that are directly targeted at gamers. But if you download the browser through the link below and install it, maybe watch a video or two on YouTube, watch a live stream, or just play around with it a little bit, that already is enough to support the channel here. I would really appreciate if you could take a few minutes of your time to do exactly that. As I said before, it's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything, and I've actually seen quite a few people that then even switched over because they prefer the browser to others. Be it as it may, if you want to support the channel, there's an easy way to do it. So thank you very much in advance and enjoy the rest of the show today. Map number 2, Tomb of Spider Queen. The Swedish team in the lead. They are the favorites here and they just showcased why. But now we have map choice by Team UK and they decided that they want to play on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Making wave clear, of course, super important. Jojo, usually somebody that you see here. Junkrat, Hanzo would be good ones. If you would want to go down the mage route, we oftentimes get to see someone like either Mephisto or Gul'dan. So lots of things to pick here still. Keep in mind that heroes can only be played once within a series, so this rule still is true throughout the tournament. And this means that right now the 10 that you've seen on map number 1 cannot be picked again. Jaina even being banned right now. I actually have seen her only once since they changed her baseline quest where she completed it. And I believe that was yesterday. So it still looks a little bit silly when she has an ice block and tries to run away. Didn't do anything either. So it's a little bit awkward at times. But yeah, Jaina generally a little bit more popular right now. Not quite crazy. I think this is one of the first bans that I've seen on her. Falstad also eliminated, so he gets quickly banned out, and he's been a monster on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Falstad with frequent flyer is just such a strong auto attacker that if you put him into an environment where he can stack easily, he becomes a mid and late game monster. And Tomb of the Spider Queen, of course, allows him for very easy rotations between the lanes since they're so close together, and normally, typically, gets him lots of stacks on his level 1 very, very quickly. It makes him super dangerous to your front line. So him getting banned here, not a surprise. He's definitely an absolute S-tier hero at this point. Stitch is banned out once more, so Team Sweden, they're just not really happy going up against hooks. They want to avoid that as best as possible. Murden gets banned out too. That leaves Jojo, for example, open. So she would be a great pick here. Not the only one that you can run with, but Johanna is a very solid choice. We have a couple of strong side laners as well. They go Diablo instead at the front line. Lots of stun potential, obviously. I believe it was a day or two ago where Sweden also played with then Leo and Tassadar. So if they go into Leoric on the side lane, they have more walls for Diablo to stun people into. If they decide in favor of Tassadar as one of their damage dealers, they can get that electric fence up and those force walls. And all of a sudden, we're talking about massive stun potential for Diablo in every single situation. So Thrall and Jojo get taken on the side of the UK. With Jojo, they now have interrupt potential. They have decent wave clear on their front line too. She's always a win, but there are certain maps like this one where she excels even more. So a fantastic pick for them. And with Diablo chosen, we'll see if they're comboing this. Azzy with Kel'Thas, so we get our gravity laps on the mage side. And we have Anduin. I mean, with that, they can also go for some light bomb engage with Diablo here. So you could definitely do that. We're still waiting what Wubby is playing on the side lane. But as I said before, Leo is one of the options that he could go for. His Urel, obviously quite infamous. So who knows? Maybe he's busting her out today. We'll see. And there comes the Genji ban. Okay, because for a second I was thinking, maybe they're banning Urel. But with Anduin already claimed, Genji gets banned out simply because the light bomb swift strike combo is super powerful. So if you are going for a squishy frontline, no matter who it's going to be, if it's like Junkrat or Hanzo and all of a sudden Genji says hello, not typically something that you want to let happen. So Genji gets banned out for a very good reason. That leaves us with the ban for Team Sweden. And they're actually getting rid of Leoric. Alright. So what's Wubby going to take? Before we're jumping into the blue team, we still have the double pick for the UK team. But yeah, Wubby side lane is going to get interesting too. Personally didn't see the D.Va pick coming in game number 1. Obviously worked for them. So right now the question what he's going to choose here. Are we going to see the Space Goat, yes or no? With Thrall claimed, I would assume that we're going to get another frontliner for Team UK. They go for Tassadar. I don't think that the blue team would have gone Kel'Thas Tassadar. Going for 2 mages is very, very unlikely. It's a pretty bad combo, honestly. You're very cooldown dependent. There's lots of disadvantages that come with it. Normally, you want to have a sustained damage dealer. So going like 2 burst damage dealers is just not what you're looking for. Very, very rarely does that lead to success. It can, but it is extremely rare that it does. They go Deathwing, and we get Mei. So essentially a double tank that they're currently playing. Wubby is going to find himself on the side lane with Mei. Deathwing could also take that role. But this is going to get quite interesting for Team UK, because this is a beefy frontline to break through. They're going to have some trouble with that. Oh, Thrall needs stacks in order to get there. They will add another damage dealer, but as I already said, I expect it to be another melee hero for them. And they deviate away from that. They're going for Vala. So we have a double frontline with Jojo and Thrall for the red team. A little bit torn on that, I gotta say. It's not gonna be easy for them, but we'll see how the adjustment works out. Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 2. It's match point, Team Sweden. They won the victory here. They need a victory here. Let's find out if they can get it. Second game in the best of 3 series. The red team needs to win in order to tie things up and force game 3. As over on the left side, we got Sven on Diablo for the meatballs, Azzy on Kalthas. Captain Rex is coming in with Deathwing. We got Wubby on Mei, and then Galnagulnar with Anduin. To the right, the UK with Jana, played by Ziggy. Tofu Freak with the Maelstrom weapon on level 1 is playing Thrall. We got JD on Whitemane, Punch McFist with an arrow build here on Tomb. And we get Lexa on Tassadar. So, let's get this party on the road. Wubby, by the way, in good tradition, always on the money pick. Again, money pick, best mount in the game. The rumors are not... You can't kill the rumors that keep insisting that people that play the money pick don't not just look better, but they are also a little bit stronger on the map. They have a bit of extra movement speed and a little bit of extra damage. Can neither deny or confirm, but hey, where there's smoke, there's fire, and it certainly looks amazing when you're riding a juicy piece of bacon into battle. That also shits money. I mean, where can you possibly go wrong with this? So, right now, at the bottom of the map, we have our side lane established. So, it's Mei against Thrall. Not the typical side lane that you would expect, but hey, here we are. Now that we're looking at the first minute in the game, there's a couple of gems that, of course, get locked in by both teams. Seems like Whitemane is going to support Tassadar in him claiming the Bruiser camp. Vala will be working on arrow stacks, and we have a lot of stacking going on. Thrall, for example, with the Maelstrom weapon is going to try and work some in down at the bot lane. If he is able to get this stacked nicely, this would be a massive win for the UK, because given that there is a triple front line with very hit point heavy heroes on the side of Team Sweden, Thrall's damage output is needed. So if they can get him stacked properly, this would help a lot to turn the game here around. But, yeah, at this point, we now have in the middle of the map still some extra pressure, thanks to Team Sweden pushing in their own Bruiser camp. There's, of course, a lot of range poke that we have from Tassadar in particular for the UK. So Team Sweden is only going to accomplish a bit of damage on that wall. But Deathwing is coming in too. Has for now gone into the Dragon Soul on level 1. And obviously we still have the Hour of Twilight, the mythic reward on that absurd 2000 stacks that you need here, which has so far in competitive play at least not been accomplished. Same true also for Muradin, by the way. He got banned out in this series. His mythic reward in the last balance patch got obviously reduced. The threshold got reduced from 200 down to 160. And we'll see if eventually he's going... Oh, Thrall gets bullied around by Diablo and actually taken down. Yeah, but we'll see if eventually Muradin is going to be able to get that completed in competitive play. Again, we're not talking about solo queue or anything of the sort. After Thrall gets taken out, Johanna follows second, so she's also eliminated. That's the second kill for the team, and here's the triple baby! They're taking 3 down and essentially take nearly all of the gems that the UK team were able to get away from them. So the turn-in are now slowly happening for Team Sweden, as Wubby is also delivering on the side lane. They got a lot, and they are closing in on enough gems to get the first set of Web Weavers. They basically have enough right now. But that's a great start for them. 3 kills to 0, gems denied to the opponent, turned in a lot on your own end, closing in on a level 7 talent advantage. And as we discussed before, for them winning this series is super important. This is their final match. It's their final match in the series. This would be their second match victory if they can take it. And Czechia is still playing against Ukraine. If Ukraine is able to decide that match in their favor, they would take the first slot in the group. If, on the other hand, it is a clean loss, then it's a bit of a question of how things are going to work out between the teams after that. But, yeah, upsets have happened in the past, but Ukraine is going to do everything that they can to make sure they are maintaining that #1 spot. But the minimum that Sweden can do is win their own matches. Everything else is then in the hands of their opponents. For now, they got the talent advantage, they got the web weavers, so they have essentially everything that they need here in order to do some damage. Captain Rex at the top lane has already escorted this in a little bit. Diablo is holding down the middle, and Deathwing is helping out as we speak. At the bot lane, on the other hand, Thrall was very much alone for way too long against 3. And now he's starting to lose the structures here. Might lose his life too if this continues. But we had at least some of the blue team's heroes split off towards the middle to try and maximize the damage there as well. By now, the red team has finally picked up their own level 7 talent, so that helps them to fight back a bit. We have 11 stacks for Thrall, 12 for Johanna, who went into Laws of Hope. But this fort down here is gone. So, yep, the first fort destroyed with the first objective. First web weavers, and Sweden is pushing. Deathwing isn't even here, but they're totally willing, at least for a limited amount of time, to engage in a 4 versus 5. Gotta move back, but, well, here comes the attack against Jojo, and Deathwing could certainly stop by and say hello, and does. Superhero landing right there. Jojo, again in trouble with 14 gems in her hands, goes down. So that's more lost for the red team, and they're starting to chase even further. JD in trouble, and he will fall. Whitemane has absolutely no chance there. You can run, but you can't hide, baby. Same true for Vala and for Thrall. They were at least able to escape through the gate, but the gap in experience has been widened. 5 kills to 0, and we're getting very, very close to a potentially second turn-in for the blue team. So for Sweden, everything is lining up perfectly currently. We have them on level 10 in just a moment, and they're controlling the flow of the game. Sven, though, gets caught and killed as Vala connects a few more arrows and is now sitting at 14 stacks. Good for her. Thrall is severely hampered in his own progress. He's at 12 stacks only. So over the last few minutes, he hasn't really made that much progress. Initially, it started off very nicely, actually, against Mei in the bot lane, but now he is having some trouble here. The problem is still that with level 10 abilities being available for Team Sweden, there's only so much that the UK can do. And they gotta be careful, because the blue team is clearly willing to dive deep for these kills, and they are getting another one. They come in, and they are taking Jojo down once more, which means that she has now died 3 times at the front line. Lots of damage being done here as well, even without web weavers. The red team not even defending. They're currently busy trying to hold down the middle. Thrall is down at the bottom of the map, but with them completely abandoning the top lane, this basically means that another fort is about to fall here. So yeah, this one is taken out. Web weavers not even needed. Now the flank is coming, and they might even get a kill, but even if that kill comes, it would not mean anything. Instead, Vala is getting killed by the snowball, and they're going for number 2 as JD gets isolated. Whitemane certainly in trouble here and has no chance of surviving this either. Same is true for Tassadar, who gets killed before he's able to walk through the wall. And now the bully play into the corner for Jojo, who has absolutely no way of escaping. That's another kill that will come through eventually. Body blocked into oblivion, and Jojo is gone. Wubby has to slide out, but he makes it. That's 10 kills to 1. Thrall has actually halved back, probably thinking that they might be trying for the keep itself, which wasn't the case. But they have the gems, plenty of them, to now get another turn in. And could have, in theory, also made a play for the boss a bit earlier. But they are absolutely murdering it right now. Poor Joanna, just locked into that corner and never able to move. Like, help! And yeah, none was coming. Thrall just decided that he would rather play with the minions down at the bottom of the map and then eventually half back instead of helping her out. So now we have the level 13 advantage. They are trying to get a turn-in though, and the blue team just denies that by getting their own at the bottom turn-in spot. So second web weaver wave in this game, and the only fort that is still standing sits here in the middle. Deathwing has gone for Ruination on level 13. Mei, on the other hand, comes in with a Polar Vortex. Diablo is already getting in position for aggressive plays at the top. they could certainly move in on the fort, given that they have a 2-level lead and the talent advantage right now. But Sweden is turning, they are turning Tomb of the Spider Queen into an absolute graveyard. I mean, it's a tomb in the first place, and the ones that are getting buried are the players on the red team. Whitemane is dead again, and of course the rest of the team is dropping rather low too. So yeah, they're crushing it here. They're absolutely crushing it here. The counter kill attempt against Azzy, who's low, but is able to get out, gets the heal. Jojo, she wanted the kill, and is able to get away, I suppose. But they are brutalizing that mid lane wall. Sweden is going for it. They're piecing this together like a piece of IKEA furniture, going for the next hit, and they drop Johanna. Top side is being pressured. Webweaver absolutely uncontested. At the bottom of the map, at least Punch McFist, fantastic name, is coming through to try and stop it. But yeah, they're losing too much ground too quickly. Tacita has good wave clear. Jojo, when she's alive, also in a decent spot for that. But I would assume that we're soon going to get an attempt by Team Sweden to try and get the boss as well, once that this is over. Deathwing is already at 35,000 damage. We got 21,000 for Tacita. Top damage dealer for Team UK. And now at the bot lane, with all of the walls being destroyed, they're starting to take some hit points off the keep too. So the attacks are coming. Sweden is moving in and doing their thing. Tofu Freak finds himself on the wrong side of the battle, wants to at least get a kill against Kelthas, and it has been denied to him, so he's gone. They're flying in deep to take another hero down. This time it's Vala that becomes the victim. Wubby is body blocking Whitemane, bit low too, but they are getting a lock on not only Whitemane but also Jojo. Everybody's on the run right now, with minion waves coming in on all of the lanes. More and more damage done here. Keeps have not fallen yet, but Whitemane certainly does. That's kill number 15 for Team Sweden. Deathwing in a corner starts to escape with the 31 gems that he's been holding, and they're looking for another kill. Johanna again on the chopping block and about to be eliminated, but Sweden has to be a bit careful. I mean, they're dropping low in HP here, and Galnagul now with Anduin is doing what he can to keep everybody alive. But eventually he's going to run out of options too, and that has happened as we speak. Deathwing comes back down though, takes Tacita out, and the fight just doesn't stop. Sweden doesn't stop. Blessed shield in play. Galnagul now with a save. Jojo somehow survives, but the keep is now gone. First keep is eliminated. The one in the middle could be pressured too. And Sweden just doesn't stop here. It's crazy. There's so much pressure on the UK. Honestly, if there would be a little bit more, they would just turn into a bunch of diamonds. Ziggy trying to get out. Deathwing zoning everyone. They got 60 gems. They have an easy turn in if they want it. But there's the block with the wall. Sundering. And Captain Rex. Is he going to get away? The others, no. Gets murdered. The gems picked up by Sven. Most of them, at least, that is. Gets the light bomb stun out too. Still pressure in the middle. The keep is losing more hit points. Might actually be destroyed as well. Black hole used. They couldn't get the kill, but Diablo's still fighting, and it's a barbecue, baby. Seems like Thrall is able to get out here. He's currently at 31 stacks, so he hasn't even gotten to his first quest reward yet. Johanna gets murdered. Kill number 18, but Kelthas, he's dead as well. It's a massive brawl. One could say it's a hero brawler right now, with 54,000 damage for Deathwing and 38,000 for Tacita. What a game! Sven is turning in. Wubby is gonna follow. They actually, with them losing a few gems as Kelthas died, they don't have enough right now to get their turn in immediately, but they already secured the 48 gems that they had, so good for them. The red team, I mean, again, still trying to do what they can. Seems like they might go for a risky play at the boss, or they're simply attempting to sniff out whether or not Team Sweden is trying to make a move on it. 16 is ready for them, and with that we now have Manticore. That might change things a little bit with Vala, and they are actually trying to get that boss, or at least we're thinking about it for a second. They showed on the lane, of course, so it's likely that the blue team is going to try and see what's happening up there. Yeah, they're checking that out. And let's not forget that they're actually playing two proper tanks. I mean, we got a front line of Deathwing, Diablo, and Mei. So, yeah, it's a bit wild. Vala could get lots of damage in with their auto attacks right now against those high hit point heroes. if she can hack that on the mechanical side. But White Mane is dead as well. Vala trying to work it. Thrall gone. Tacita eliminated. Vala in the corner. That's another kill. It's a quad kill. And make it a 5-man team wipe. As Team UK gets wiped off the map and Team Sweden is on their way to victory. Big pressure at the top and the mid lane already. They're going to go for the core here. They did everything they could do. They lost to Ukraine. After that, they were able to defeat Czechia, and now Team UK, at a minimum, they will have the second spot in the group and go to the last chance qualifier, all dependent on how Ukraine performs in their last series in the group. Nicely done, Team Sweden with the W, a 2-0 victory against Team UK. GG, well played.